Hi everyone, Jeremy here for Flatware Creations. Today I'm going to show you how I make the twisted tine fork rings. This is us, and get rid of that. So I'm using Queen Bess 2 forks. First I took and I made a straight line going across here. The hard part with these is getting them really round. So I go with the round with the shape that it originally started in. I'll put it in my bending press, and I can see the line just on this side. And this is just the large bar. Just try and level it out there. Okay, and we're going to, once I have it round, I'm going to put it in my bandsaw, and you can do this, put it in your vise and cut it with your hacksaw. Now we've got some sharp points. We're going to clean this up with our sander. This is going to be warm. We're going to put back in our vise, or back in our press. Grab one of the middle fork tines, and we're just going to bring it right around. Then we can just put it on the mandrel. Alright, so we have our rough ring. I will now take the camera, so my assistant. Alright, so now I took 2 blocks of 3/4 inch plywood, because that's what I had laying around, and I cut them down so that they would fit in my vise. I'm going to take my ring now, get right to the edge, and you can take any tool, soft copper. This is a tool I got from Flatwareables. Pretty much just right now going to lift up these tines. You can use a little soft copper pipe or something, whatever you feel comfortable with or used to. So now I got my fork tines up. I've got my one tine down in the wood, and it is going to make some indentions and things. I went through a couple different versions trying to just to be fairly easy to work with, and this has been the easiest so far. So I'm gonna come up, and I like to bring my first one over. I'm gonna start my turns. Can you see that okay? Okay. I'm going to start my turns. Make a couple bends. This is a game of leverage now. So I'm actually going to try and flip this whole thing right over. Okay, so we'll run this right back around. Tap this down. And so the next part of this, I'm going to take my flat pliers. I use them as the buffer between my hammer and hitting this top piece here. So sorry, my hand's in the way. Okay, so we have the first part. Okay, so as I'm going through, I like to take each one, and you get some tool marks on them. I'll take each one and just clean it up while I still have space. So I switched over to, this is a 180 grit drum sander. And I'm just taking off the edge marks, the tool marks, and any sharp edges. And I got a couple marks right there. So I'm going to switch over to a diamond bit for that. Now I'm going to switch over to 120 grit sanding disc. Just trying to get those heavy tool marks out of there. Okay, so it's pretty clean as far as sharp edges and everything. Can you see the buffer? I'm just going to use my fiber wheel here. Okay, so I'm happy with that. We're going to take and make this little coil just a little bit smaller. Use my small round nose for that. There we go. Okay, so now I want to make sure that this is all flat. Okay. Alright, so let's go to the next one. I'm actually going to take this last one out here. I'm going to bring it up. Bring this one. Grab for some leverage. Bring this one over. Be careful whenever you're bending them over, because sometimes they'll want to break right in here. What's nice about the Queen Bess is that it will bend nice and easy. And so I'm just twisting all of this up. Okay, let's so this one I just curled around. Now it looks kind of like an S. So I'm just going to clean up that. I also want to bring it this way some. Okay, so I'm going to take, and I'm going to hit here so that this here comes up. Okay, I've got that. I'm going to take all right. Sorry about my hands being in the way. Okay. So watch out for the sharp points on here too. Kind of protecting my hand from that. I'm just trying to close up this. There we go. There. Alright, so here's what I was trying to do. I was trying to get that to where it's all self-contained. Okay. Now I can move on. So we got our last one here. I'm going to bring this up. And we'll see what we can do with this one. I'm going to turn it around this way, flip it over. Flip that one back. Flip this one back around again, and then I'm going to go back again. So now what I have is an S, kind of zigzaggy thing here. I'm going to take, hammer that down a little bit. Take the top one, bring it back. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up, twist, and curl. So I'm going to try and bring this right back around. Sometimes you have to take another pair of pliers. Get in here for leverage. Okay. Take my flat pliers. Lay that down. All right. So let's tighten up our swirl here. Back. Okay. Okay. What that allowed us to do was this piece here to go from vertical to this way and then down. So now we have our flat. So what we'll do is we will take our flat pliers. And again, I'm trying to protect the top of this fork, this piece here. Okay. Now, okay. So I don't want to push these ends down, our little circles here. I don't want to push those down yet. I'm going to put them through the tumbler, and once they come out clean, then I'm going to put jewels in them, crystals, rivets from flatwearables.net. And then what we'll do is, after I get those in there, I'll get these squished down. The last step for this part before it goes in the tumbler, so we'll put it on my mandrel, tap down, make sure I get that nice and round. And see how we got a little hump up in here? I want to take that out. There we go. Now we got it pretty round. And so we'll get this cleaned up and we'll get it through the tumbler and then we'll put on our crystals. All right, everyone, we are back. This is 2 hours of tumbling. Nice and shiny. So I did 4 rings. I'm going to show you how I use these crystal rivets. We get these from flatwearables.net. It's got tons of colors. So here's how we do this. So I'm going to show you the way that I do a lot of the pendants and other items that need to be pressed with these rivets. Take out my pin. Actually, I don't need to take that out, but I need to take my screw out here. And my friend, he has a metal shop, and he had this piece of stainless that I ground down on the corner here. I get a lot of leverage, so we don't want that one. Let's do this one. So sometimes these crystals will break, so you want to go nice and gentle with them. I put in the top piece. I'll put the back part of the rivet on. And then what I'm going to do is put up a thick leather pad. And you can see I've used it a couple of times. So I'm going to take this out so I have more room. Make sure you guys can see that. And just real gently. So this is just sliding in here now. I'm going to slowly pull down with my vise, or my press. And I just moved it a little bit to get pressure, a little different area. Try and get it even. There you go, no wobble. All right, and my next one is going to go right here. So for this one, I'm going to use these pliers. I took and I drilled a couple holes and took one of the nylon pieces out. I think that was the opal, so I'm going to do this. Can you see down there? So I'll put this one in, put in the back. Come on. Okay, so now, just make sure you're in frame. I'm going to take, and this is why we left the gap. This guy will go into this front hole. Okay, so now I've got this. I'm going to slowly start to crimp. And then I'm going to turn it. And then I'm going to crimp again. I'm going to turn it. Crimp again. And you can see on the back side, there's a little high spot here. So I'm going to turn this whole thing, if I still can, to that piece there so that I can squish it down. There we go. Nice and fixed. So we got this one done. Then I'm going to bring you over here to the vise. Zoom out here. Okay, so now we want to get this flush. I'll put it back in my vise. And I'm going to take my nylon hammer and I'm just going to push down Serafina, it's time to get up.
Serafina, you have to get up to get ready to go to the doctor's, please.
Alright, so we want to check out our ring. We want to make sure that everything's level. Okay. So nice and even all around. And then we just go on to the next one. So you just make these loops small enough for the rivets to fit in. And I keep all my rivets in a little box. So these are 6 mil. And the rest of these are 4 mil. There we go. All right, I hope that helps. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and click the little bell so you get notified whenever we post a new video. Have a good day.